a bold turn in policy. In 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration dismantled a rigid foreign exchange setup that had long shielded the Naira. As the central bank abandoned its peg, the currency plunged, soaring to around 1,800 Nigerian Nairas per US dollar by March 2024. Headlines decried a catastrophic currency collapse. But this dramatic fall was part of a calculated economic reset. A currency reborn, the realignment takes hold. By August 2025, the Naira had rebounded to approximately 1,525 Nigerian Nairas per dollar, a 15.3% improvement in just 5 months, or an annualized rebound nearing 48.9%. This remarkable recovery wasn't incidental. Key factors powering the turnaround: higher oil revenues boosting the foreign exchange inflows, growing diaspora remittances bolstering external reserves, clearing over $4 billion in FX backlogs, signaling improved liquidity, unification of FX windows, merging dispersed markets into one transparent rate. These measures renewed investor trust, restoring the Naira's market-determined value rather than artificial propping. Competitive edge for Nigerian exports. A more realistic exchange rate delivered an immediate export advantage. Foreign buyers found Nigerian goods, sesame seeds, cocoa beans, processed chocolate, affordable. Domestic exporters maintained strong Naira earnings, allowing reinvestment into value addition, such as turning raw cocoa into bars or sesame into oil. This balance not only improved profitability, but also encouraged local value chains, yielding stronger economic dividends at home. Export surge, numbers tell the story. The export rebound was swift and tangible. Non-oil exports rose from $2.696 billion in H1 2024 to $3.225 billion in H1 2025, a 19.6% year-on-year increase. Export volumes climbed from 3.83 million to 4.04 million metric tons, underlining that buyers were purchasing more, not just paying higher prices. The virtuous cycle of reform. FX reform, realistic Naira. Cheaper prices in USD, export boom. Export boom, strong FX inflows. FX inflows, greater Naira stability. Naira stability, renewed investor confidence and long-term growth. As foreign exchange inflows climb, further strengthening the Naira, investor risk premiums fall, inviting capital, deepening reserves, and sustaining growth. Beyond the headlines, currency as a strategic tool. Yakubu emphasizes that a floating currency isn't a sign of weakness, it's a lever of competitiveness. By foregoing artificial support of the Naira, Tinubu's administration allowed genuine market pricing to restore balance. If sustained, this policy sets Nigeria on a path to export-driven growth and economic sovereignty. Broader policy implications, context from independent analyses. To flesh out the narrative further, here's how external sources reinforce and expand on the viewpoint's themes. Economic stabilization and external resilience. According to Reuters, Nigeria posted a balance of payments surplus of $6.83 billion in 2024, reversing previous deficits, thanks to reforms like subsidy removal, FX adjustments, and overhauls in the oil and tax sectors. Non-oil exports rose 24.6%, remittances increased 8.9%, and FX reserves expanded by $6 billion. Industrial adaptation and localization. Financial Times reports that the Forex shock triggered manufacturing firms to localize inputs. For instance, CAP, Chemical and Allied Products, now sources 90% of its calcium carbonate locally, cutting costs by up to 60%. Local raw material usage rose to 57%, with firms like Beta Glass invoicing in Naira to sidestep FX volatility. Still high inflation and pressing social challenges. Despite gains, inflation remains elevated, around 24%, driven by food prices, a humanitarian and economic concern. Reform momentum must be complemented by social infrastructure and tax-to-GDP gains to cement public trust. Looking ahead, sustaining momentum and inclusivity. What's working? A unified FX market is restoring credibility. Exporters benefit from both volume and value. Strong remittances and oil receipts reinforce FX stability. Localization is stabilizing supply chains and reducing cost pressures. What still needs urgent attention? Mitigating inflation's toll on everyday Nigerians. Boosting agricultural productivity to keep food prices in check. Strengthening infrastructure and easing regulatory frictions. Expanding public investment in healthcare, education, and social safety nets. Final thought: currency reform as economic game changer. What seemed like a precipitous policy gamble, the Naira's free fall in 2024, was in fact a daring act of economic recalibration. Through restoring market-based pricing, clearing FX backlogs, and simplifying exchange mechanisms, the Tinubu administration didn't just stabilize a currency, it ignited an export engine that could meaningfully reshape Nigeria's growth trajectory. If these structural gains hold, the Naira's revival will epitomize a broader national shift, from exchange rate fragility to export-driven resilience.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.